Whoa. It's time for another drama in Forrest's life as Jenny arrives, solving her bullying problem, and they stroll under the stars. Forrest is thinking, can I be Jenny's boyfriend? But Jenny just doesn't answer and dives into her tales of adventures. Jenny, like a free-flying bird, tells Forrest they live on different planets. Forrest, like a little knight, hands her the honor medal. Jenny hops on a bus, off to adventure again, while the TV is broadcasting the humans' meme party, and Forrest's ping-pong match is the highlight. Thanks to ping-pong diplomacy, Forrest becomes famous, and just as he leaves the studio, a familiar voice calls out from behind. Dan wheels up to Forrest, who is full of honors, while Dan is a homeless version chasing him from behind. Forrest has also turned into a street-wandering character, but he has new plans on Christmas night. At the bar, he whispers tales of Bubba's shrimping dream, talking about being a little shrimp, while Forrest is lost in his blue ocean shrimping fantasy. Despite Bubba's sacrifice, Forrest is all about keeping promises, and Dan laughs, saying, "When that day comes, it'll be your doctor." And just then, two ladies approach them, feeling like divine intervention. Forrest's mind pops up Jenny, but her life seems like a soap opera with a new hero by her side. When the New Year bells ring, everyone celebrates. Yet Dan's face looks like he bit into a lemon. Nobody knows what's on his mind. For his New Year, Dan brings two ladies to the apartment, while Forrest isn't thrilled about this wild party. One lady points and shouts idiot at Forrest, causing Dan to blow up, only to end up on the floor, while Forrest insists on crawling back. Not long after, Forrest gets his discharge notice and rushes home to find a racket showdown in full swing. Agree to endorse and get a $25,000 check. What a surprising windfall. He decides to keep the promise and buys a boat, but catching shrimp is like chasing bubbles in the wind. An old fisherman advises him, "You got to give your boat a catchy name to bring luck." Forrest suddenly thinks of Jenny, and that moment of naming the boat feels like throwing a party at sea. Every time Forrest goes out to sea, he thinks of Jenny, while her life looks like a full-on rock band. Jenny looks out wishing to be a bird, but slips and nearly falls like one, yet in the end, she chooses to stay. Forrest's childhood is like a healing potion, while Jenny feels she has to spend a lifetime healing her own childhood. As Forrest prepares to set sail out to sea for shrimp, he suddenly and unexpectedly catches sight of Dan, and in his excitement, he eagerly leaps off the boat just like a child. Then, the two of them drive the Jenny together like valiant sailors searching for their seafood dream. On the evening sea, they believe they can find the shrimp school, but reality always plays pranks on them. With a gentle breeze, the only catch is a pile of junk tonight as the Jenny gets chased by a storm. Dan is pumped like he's had too much coffee. Bring it on, storm. I'm ready to duel destiny. Next day, they learn this crazy weather was called Hurricane Carmen. Looks like destiny played a big joke on them. Every single fishing boat in the harbor has suffered damage, but the Jenny cleverly snuck through the fierce storm, as if they had truly received special protection and care from above. From then on, their lives changed dramatically as they frequently ventured out to sea to fish and shrimp, returning each time with abundant catches and piles of cash. Ultimately, they even jointly established the Bobber Dan Shrimping Company. One evening, Jenny received an emergency call from headquarters. Forrest's mom is ill. Forrest jumps off the boat, rushing home, filled with questions about his mother's life and death. "I just want to be Mom," he says, with a laugh. When will the wheels of fate ever stop? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know when you'll bite down hard. After years of hard work, Forrest's mother finally lives the dream life of a rich lady, free from the obligation of being a maid. Forrest still becomes a millionaire, helping the townsfolk with their weeds like a superhero. Each night, he sits alone in his empty mansion, dreaming Jenny will return, like waiting for a dream-like reunion. Jenny finally returns, like a dream reunification, and hugs Forrest tightly. But after Jenny returns, all she does is sleep, having been through the grind for so many years. She's finally getting some good rest. Forrest and Jenny stroll together, sharing their exciting lives, passing by her childhood home, and the shadows come creeping back. To lift Jenny's burdens, Forrest calls in the crew to demolish the house, and they sit like kids in a tree, waiting for nightfall like silly little kids. They dance in the mansion, filled with the spirit of dance, and Forrest boldly says, "Jenny, he'll make a good husband." But Jenny replies with a smile, "You will, Forrest, but you don't want to marry me," seemingly recalling her lack of smart. In the middle of the night, it rains heavily outside, and Jenny hides in Forrest's room like a little girl, bringing them back to their good childhood. But the next day, Jenny chooses to leave, leaving only the medal as a symbol of honor, and Forrest feels lost in life. Forrest, wearing the sneakers Jenny gave him, sits outside alone. The loneliness sparks a bold idea, and he starts running aimlessly. He runs through the streets like Superman chasing the sun until he reaches the beach at dusk. After some deep thinking, he turns and keeps flying with no time to stop, sprinting through golden wheat fields. He runs all the way to the base of snow-capped mountains, enjoying the magic of seasonal changes until he becomes the national running champion. Becoming the focus of media attention, billionaire Forrest doesn't care at all. Meanwhile, Jenny sees it all unfold.